Hello everyone, my name is Christina and with me today is Tiffany.
Hi.
We are the product managers for TaxBandits and we are so excited to be here to discuss tips and FAQs to help you e-file efficiently and securely this tax season. So to start us off, a really popular topic right now that I would love if you can just dive a little bit into is, has the e-file threshold for filing 1099 and W-2 forms really changed? Can you tell us about that?
Oh, definitely. The threshold used to be 250 forms of any type. But now, new businesses filing, or any businesses filing 10 or more information forms collectively has to e-file.
Will that affect the 2023 forms that businesses are filing in January 2024?
Oh, absolutely. Even the small businesses now that used to only have to file 10 or 12 forms now has to e-file.
And you mentioned collectively too. Can you give us an example of like before where it wasn't collective versus now when it is?
So if a business has to file 9 1099s and 7 W-2s, they would have to e-file.
Because that like
Because
collectively that's
together,
over.
yeah, together that is more than 10.
Wow. Well, this is going to be a really big change for pretty much every business out there. So that clears that up. We know for sure that e-file threshold has been reduced.
By a lot.
By a lot.
It's quite a drastic change.
I know that that's something that we're hearing about a lot lately. What is another question that you feel like we get a lot during the season?
A lot of clients will call and they ask, do they need to file with their state?
Oh yes, the state filing. So it is a little different with every state is honestly the answer. It varies by things like the actual form. So not all 1099s have the same filing requirements for every state. W-2s can have slightly different filing requirements. Some states even have an address-based filing requirement, so it could depend on the payer address or the recipient address, or if they're both in the same state. But sometimes that address will affect whether or not you're required to file with the state. Some states even have a filing requirement based off of whether there was state withholding. For 1099s, it can vary depending on if the state participates in the CFSF program. And I know that sounds like a lot because it's a lot. You know, it's a lot to consider and look into with state filing. So we do have a few really great features that help you with figuring out, do you need to file with your state? So TaxBandits has alerts built in. If the state, when you go to file your 1099s, if the state has a filing requirement for like the 1099 NEC, for example, based off of your payer's address or your recipient's address, we will alert you. It'll actually pop up. It has a little yellow icon that will let you know, hey, it doesn't look like you've added any state information for this form, but based on this state's requirements, it looks like you might need to file. And it gives you a chance to go in and review and see, do you need to file with that state? And you can add those details really easily. We also have a great color code option when you're reviewing and selecting your services. If the state is green, you've added your state info, they require filing, you're good to go. If it's red, they don't require it. So there's a couple more options there, but it really helps you break down, do I need to file, do I not need to file, and have a nice visual to go along with it.
That's great.
But that concludes my rant on state filing. So can you tell us a little bit about when you're distributing the recipient copies? I feel like a common question that we get and a common misconception that's out there is it okay for a business or even like a tax preparer for their client to just email recipients their copies of the forms?
No, that you definitely cannot just email the recipient copies. The IRS requires recipients to consent to receiving their copies electronically.
So you have to have like a documented consent.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Is there anything in TaxBandits that our viewers would benefit from that's going to help them with tracking that consent?
Oh, definitely. The recipient will receive an email directing them to our secure portal where the recipient consents to an electronic disclosure before they're able to access the form.
Got it. And so is that all just tracked in their account, or how can they see that after the recipient consents?
Right, yes. TaxBandits does track the consent in the account so that you have documentation that the recipient consented to getting their forms online.
Awesome.
So why would a client use an IRS authorized e-file provider over filing on their own? Isn't it simple?
It is not. That is definitely a question that we get. It's a good one to cover because we have so many clients that come to us thinking that's going to be a simple process, and then when they really get into it, it's just more than they we're bargaining for. Maybe is a way to put that. A really, really straightforward reason is audit checks and error checks. If you're just exporting a file or having a staff member just fill in a file with some data and trying to, get that processed on your own, there's really not a system in place for making sure that that information is accurate and matches the IRS business rules and matches their e-filing requirements, because for a lot of businesses that are used to paper filing, sometimes the e-filing requirements or instructions or what you're doing, it's a little bit different. Mm-hmm. So using an IRS authorized e-file provider like TaxBandits, this is what we do. We specialize in it every day. We're here looking at 1099s, 941s, all the forms, and our system is built with error checks and validations in place that are based on the IRS e-file system. They are based on the business rules, so they're going to help you eliminate. They're going to help you eliminate human error. If somebody leaves out a zero on the income and the withholding is more than the income, TaxBandits is going to catch that. It helps with making sure that you've got all the required information in that file. And other than accuracy, TaxBandits just has a really user-friendly interface. It's just an easier filing process. And you don't have to go through getting your own TCC to file. That's not, you can just create your account at taxbandits.com, you add your details, and you file. It's really easy to get started and to get it taken care of.
What would someone look for in an e-file provider if they've always paper filed?
And that's another great question. And for anyone that's been paper filing, or anyone that maybe just kind of picked a provider in the past and wasn't quite sure what to look for, there are some key differences out there and some things that you want to be aware of going into it, like is it going to be simple to file the volume of forms that you need, whether you're filing 2 forms or 2,000 or 20,000? Can the provider help you with handling that? Or if you're a tax preparer, if you're at a certain level with your business right now, can the provider that you go with scale with you? As you file more forms for your clients, are they going to be able to process that additional volume, or are you going to have to change 2 years down the road? And that's such a process to have to do right, every couple of years. So making sure you have a good long-term solution in place, making sure they have all of the forms that you need, and that they have really dependable recipient copy distribution options. So can they postal mail? Do they have an online option? Is it, especially for preparers, is it versatile, something that your clients will have different options available to them as different businesses want different services? If you're working with a team, I know this is a lot, I could go on and on, but real quick, if you're working with a team, are there clear options for delegating tasks to your team members, and an easy way to manage your workflow? Is security a priority for them? If you're a high volume filer, are there API options or data integration options if that's something that would help you out? So there's a lot to consider, but those are some really key things that are just going to help you pick the right provider for your business. So now that I have gone on and on about what to look for with a provider, Tiffanie, can you tell us a little bit about how the TaxBandits pricing works? Just because I know that's a common question, especially when people are in a hurry this time of year.
Oh, definitely. Our pricing is service and volume based. And what that means is it is per form.
And per service.
Per service, thank you. So if you get postal and online for a 1099, it all covers all of that.
But you're not necessarily having to get state filing if you don't need it.
Exactly.
Or if you don't want to distribute electronically, you're not required to. It's kind of a
exactly.
An a la
you can kind of
carte.
pick and choose what you need.
Awesome.
And with that, we always recommend getting credits. So to get the best price per form, this allows you to take advantage of the built-in discounts in our tiered pricing. And they never expire.
Gotta
So
love
they
that.
are there forever. So if you need 200 this year and you bought 500, well, you've got next year covered.
And you get that better rate because you went
get
ahead
that
and did.
automatic better rate. And if, God forbid, the price were to go up, you've locked in that price until you run out of those credits.
So they don't, like when you purchase them, they don't lose their value even if the value of the new credits changes.
Exactly.
All right.
And we don't charge for our support, so you can call, email, and live chat because we don't use bots at no additional cost. It's completely free.
For all of them.
For all of them.
All the time.
All the time.
Gotta love it.
Yes. We are available Monday through Friday, 8:30 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And again, no additional charge.
Nope. Year round. Good to go.
Absolutely.
Well, I know this is one of our favorite questions because it's such a confusion. When you're e-filing, do Form 1096 or W-3 have to be e-filed with the IRS or the SSA?
No, not at all. They are required when paper filing, but they are not required by the IRS when you e-file. We do generate the 1096 and the W-3 to have in your account for your records, but they're not required to be filed.
Thank you for clear, because I know even when I know a lot of our clients, they know that, but they still wonder. So just
exactly. We just want to calm your fears.
Yes.
What are some things to kind of get in place as soon as you can before January 1st?
It's a great question because we're basically at the 11th hour now, right? Like preparation time is over. It's about to be time to start filing. So first off, get your account created. Go to TaxBandits.com, get your account set up now, and then get those credits added to the account, lock in the current pricing, and then they're there when you need them. But getting that out of the way is a huge step in being prepared for the filing season. As you've got your account, you're getting our notifications about deadlines and helpful information. You've got your credits there, and then get your clients or your business added to your account and get your staff members added to your account. And that way you have the account set up, your credits are good to go, your team is there, your clients are there, so you're ready to start filing, come January 2nd. A lot of businesses are off for the new year, but you're ready to go as soon as possible. We even have pre-filing available. So if you are ready to file for any of those clients now, you could literally start today. And that's what I would suggest, though, to get started.
Definitely. And do those have to be added individually, or can you add your staff members and your recipients and your businesses more than once or more at a time?
Yes, that's a great question. So you can add them individually if you want to or need to, but we have some really great bulk upload options. But it's just as easy as uploading your staff members, uploading your clients. You can do them all at once in bulk, and then you're good to go. So it doesn't have to be a manual, drawn-out process. It's just something that you want to get taken care of. Now, with all of that in mind, are there any specific features about TaxBandits that you want to point out that would help our audience, would help our client base when they are going to file this January?
Oh, I don't even know where to start. There's so many. Our staff management tool is an awesome tool for delegating your tasks and managing your workflow. You can set your roles and they have different levels of what they can handle. You can manage your businesses in that same, delegate the businesses to each staff member. Our client portal is also an easy and secure way to communicate with clients and to share and receive documents and forms. Our TIN matching, we actually have unlimited TIN matching that we just started this year for 1099 NECs. And you pay one price and you get unlimited TIN matching for all of the recipients per business. And I will say to make sure you keep tuning in to our coffee breaks and webinars, our coffee break webinars. We will continue breaking down these features and filling in your filing tips as the weeks go by.
All right. Well, I think that's going to wrap it up for our FAQs today. Thank you all so much for joining us. We really appreciate it. If anyone has any questions, make sure to add those into the Q&A box. We'll make sure to reach back out. Feel free to add any comments about future topics you'd like us to discuss. Make sure to create your account. And if you haven't already, subscribe to our YouTube channel so that you stay up to date on our future webinars, on our future tutorials and guides, and just all the information out there. But thank you so much.
Bye.